Good afternoon, folks. It's 4:37 p.m. on the 13th day, 4th month, 2024. I've been sent this image here in the video that a gentleman, I'm not sure who, but I will give credit full to his channel, about this blob that supposedly left Antarctica during the eclipse, which he couldn't be more mistaken, because the images that he shows is of the date of the 11th. Right, if you look down here, the 11th. Well, the eclipse was on the 8th. Right, so this is after. This is 3 days after Monday, the 8th eclipse. If you try to go technical in Australia, you use 9th when that moment occurs. From there, because of timestamps. But really, there was a big beam that came across the planet. The rainbow beam did. And picking up these big waves out of the ocean on the actual surface of the ocean is kind of confirming to me what I was saying about it. It's going to have effect on the surface of the water itself, and these big waves, they'll be pounding up and down, creating sound as well. And this is great evidence that this gentleman has. So what I want to do now is, you see how it has occurred right through here, right in this spot here. There's no big deployments other than a bunch of chem and EMF in that spot, because I've pulled up a NASA worldview here, and this is on the 11th, to see what was there. And you see these waves here. Is it possible that's what's being picked up, or what effect is these waves having on the sea deck? Because if we're to believe those waves that they have, that are shown in the graph right over here, you know, that I was just showing you, that's what these lines are. It's supposed to be very giant rogue waves, and this area is known for them. Right? They sink a lot of ships get sunk out here with the waveforms. So if waves are being made by geoengineering using electromagnetic directed energy weapons as weather modification tools, then disruption of shipping, I mean, it's a big, huge possibility to occur. And the beam sweat, you can see kind of where it cut through. She went right over Australia here. See where the out the clouds here to here, and interacted with this whole massive stuff. It went over Antarctica, around here as well here, and the beams met right about in here, as you can see in this other image that I showed you guys this morning. When I go down to the Antarctica end of things, you see where the strongest indicators of where the nexus of the two beams is right here around the 30th 30-degree east mark here near the pole. So we could pretty much assimilate what base is there, or how many Antarctic bases and who owns them. But the ice cube detector that everybody was screaming about is over here about where my hand is. Right about there. Yep, that's just how that is. So this is my take on that. Right, I want to play the video. And we'll give the guy a good like and a thank you very much. I think I've already done it. And this is a Into Thin Air's video, and I'd like to play it with all respect.
System. Let me zoom back out here. Let's move forward and see where this thing is projected to go. What?
So you get the full everything.
Weird anomaly taking place on Ventu Sky. I don't know what this blob is here, but it's coming from what looks like Antarctica. If we backtrack a little bit, you're going to see it disappear and reappear on the screen. So we move into Monday the 8th, which was obviously 3 days ago. Watch as we move into Tuesday. This mass pops up with waves of 83.7 feet in height. What in God's name is this thing moving out of Antarctica?
Right, I want to point out the scale, which is what on the map this means. What do all these colors mean? It's all temperature. So to see a super raising in temperature here, see that there? Or a cold influx even, for the kind of when you blow out a spat in a sudden empty void and stuff rushes in, you will create a suction. And that also can create a drip or rise in temperature depending upon which direction that heat is applied. So this is, to me, evidence of the beam coming here. So if we zoom in on this map, because I don't use this yet, this isn't really my thing. Over here, well, this is he's using wave height on this particular one. And so, and that's usually heat on the infrared that they show on here. We very often pick up spikes like that closer to the pole So aiming the beam there, it made sense. If we had the anomaly going across like this, went very wide there, and it would have heated up this area. It would have had a lot of seismic waves going back and forth, and sonic waves, and electromagnetic frequency interference waves.
Antarctica, as you
My
can see,
biggest
and then
disagreements is it did not leave during the eclipse, because the eclipse was on the 8th in this part of the world, and the eclipse would have
the coast
occurred
of
over
Africa
here in
into the
Mexico.
Atlantic Ocean.
I also am just in disagreement of his analysis, but I do think it's a great job capturing this. We see disturbances in the clouds and in the deck right over here, but we don't see huge chemtrail lines. We don't see anything indicated like a nuke. Look at all these squares in here. That's interesting. A little bit of an anomaly there. Lots of squares. Lots of EMF. Bzzz, as to be expected when a big beam is deployed. I'm not going to get into too much more about it. This is pretty much my opinion on it. We give you a like, or I have to sign in. I can't on this channel. I did it on my other one. Okay, so he was making lots of claims that I could not back up. We have to remember one thing. Think logically. Okay, so that wind spike caused by the influx of the air from the beams is just going to zoom straight up, and it went there and it affected everybody. Went right in toward the north, the polar regions, and into Flataria. Who knows? I couldn't resist that little poke. Yeah, that's right, because they poke a bear, they poke a bear, and I poke back. So that's my opinion on this, and now I don't have to answer any more questions about it. You know, we got to keep an eye on our own planet. As you can see, these big beams, they are designed as atmospheric heaters, so if a missile went through that, it would melt and not hit your city. And that's what these type things were paid for and designed to do. But while they're not busy doing that, they're controlling the rivers of moistures, creating El Grande Layos and El Nino conditions that you like to have a switch. La Nina on, La Nina off. It's time to turn off the atmospheric heaters and turn our brains on. Big love, people. Peace.